Welcome to A Human Perspective, a podcast where I'll be sharing work and personal experiences and learnings. I will also chop it up with guests from time to time who will also share their own perspectives. I can't promise everything you hear on this podcast will always be right, but I can promise to always give you a human perspective. Let's go. Some people run towards managerial roles. They see this as progression, a reflection of their own superior knowledge and standing. For them, becoming a manager is a huge billboard that screams that they have reached the pinnacle of their field and they are now ready to impart their wisdom onto their lowly subjects. Eye roll. Working in the tech world, I've learned this is nonsense. In tech companies that are ahead of the curve, individuals in engineering teams have two main routes. Not that there aren't others, these are just the two main that I'd like to highlight today. Manager or specialist. Both will put you on the same trajectory financially and in terms of seniority. This means you don't have to be a manager to be a lead team member and to earn decent money. This is why you often find engineering managers tend to not only be strong technically, but passionate about effectively supporting their team members and creating the best ethos for their team to do their best work. The manager route is not a mandatory route, and it is not respected more than a senior team member who is an individual contributor. In these spaces, becoming a manager is usually a truly conscious decision. I've even seen instances where a highly skilled team member out-earned their manager, and the manager was completely comfortable with this. Why? Because they understood the team member's value. The team member was able to bring an element of expertise to the table that the manager could not. I don't see this openness and flexibility so much outside of engineering. Quite often, people become managers for themselves rather than the people they should be building and coaching. Then you have those forced into people manager roles by managers who believe progression can only exist by being a manager and managing larger teams as time goes on. Even more common is the assumption that being a strong individual contributor naturally correlates to being a strong people manager. In case you can't tell, I don't believe in these outdated ways of thinking and climbing the career ladder, and so I've never chased roles that would put me in a managerial position. I love being an individual contributor, and in some scenarios, I even love working on my own. Yeah, I know, I shouldn't admit it. But it's true. I see being a manager as a huge responsibility. I do not take it lightly. It's not simply a badge of honor. You are responsible for people who trust and rely on you to be challenged, develop, and grow. This is no joke. On top of that, we all have our quirks that our team members then have to put up with. One of mine is that I am very critical of myself, and this means I naturally have high expectations of others. However, this once didn't turn out too well when I was managing an intern. There were instances where it was clear there was a misalignment and I ignored all the signs. I wanted so badly to win that I dismissed reality, and the experience slowly chipped away at the both of us. Eventually, the intern did hand in their notice, and I was so disappointed. I even tried to convince them to stay and gave the talk about believing in them, and all that is needed is that they believe in themselves. I just couldn't stand the thought of unsuccessfully helping someone flourish and grow. I was disappointed in them for giving up and disappointed in myself for letting my ego take over and not giving up sooner. In reality, the intern did us both a huge favor because my ego wouldn't let me do what needed to be done. This was a pivotal lesson for me and one that I'll forever be grateful for. I believe this example I've given can be extrapolated to a lot of people in people manager roles today. Are you a manager because you truly care about the people reporting into you, or because you care about the perception and how it feeds into your ego? Is it possible you're doing more damage than good? Is being a manager really what you want? What you're actually good at? Do you truly feel this is the only way to demonstrate prowess and career progression? Now, I'm not saying I'm a perfect manager. I have my strengths and I have my weaknesses, but I do feel I make an interesting manager because I'm not interested in playing the role of a quote unquote manager. I see myself as a senior member of my team, and that's it. Sometimes that means I have to wear different hats, yes. But generally, my goal is to connect with my team members, share knowledge, encourage independent thought, and set clear goals in order to get the best out of each individual. And I do regularly ask myself if I am the best person to do that for each member of my team. Because being a manager isn't about me. It's about them and what they are able to get out of the relationship. So I have a question for you. What do you want to be when you grow up? Please don't say a manager. That's so boring. Let's be more creative. Thanks for joining me again on this episode of A Human Perspective. Thanks again for listening to my perspective, and I'll see you in the next episode.